What's up, everybody? This is Dan Canobbio for Inside Boxing Live, the Inside Boxing Live YouTube channel, and we are reacting to Artur Beterbiev's KO win over Anthony Yarde. For Beterbiev, he moves on to 19-0 with 19 KOs. Really good fight. First off, hats off to both fighters, giving us a really good fight in the light heavyweight division. We knew coming in that this one could catch fire. There was a lot of support for Anthony Yarde, and he deserves it. The guy came out, probably the best performance of his career, but it just simply wasn't enough because he was in there with a guy that knows how to cut off the ring and has arguably the heaviest hands in all of boxing. That's Artur Beterbiev. We'll talk about what's next for each guy. We'll talk about the fight. I was a little shocked to see that two of the judges had Yarde up in this fight. One had Yarde up by a point. Another had Yarde up by 3 points, and the third judge had Beterbiev up by a point. I could see that. I could see Beterbiev being up for in this fight, maybe by a point. There were a lot of rounds where he didn't do his normal work. I thought his work rate was a little bit down. This is a guy that throws close to 70 punches around, and you can expect that, right? When you're getting close to 40 years old with Beterbiev, you're going to see some signs of slippage. He did get tagged a lot in this fight, but I never thought there was any moment where Beterbiev was hurt, where he was rocked, where he was wobbled. He has a really good chin. And listen, if you're a power puncher in boxing, you're going to put yourself in a position to get hit. If you're going to get into that close range where Beterbiev likes to live, you're going to get hit with some shots. It's boxing. It's part of the game. And Anthony Yarde hits very, very hard. So I don't know if I would say that was a cautious thing, or something I would say, oh wow, that's a sign of slippage. I think Beterbiev gets hit a lot in his fights. He's got his chin checked twice in his career, and he's got up to knock out those opponents. We'll start with Yarde. Anthony Yarde, Lions in the camp. Well, he just made himself a lot more money in the future because he has shown that he can hang with one of the all-time greats at light heavyweight. I thought that it would go into the second half. I actually predicted that this fight would be a second half win for Beterbiev. That's because I think Anthony Yarde is very athletic. I thought he has a really good jab, and he can take a punch, and he was able to do that in this fight tonight. Has bruising power, really, really good athleticism in there, and we saw that. I love to see him in the ring with Callum Smith. I love to see him in the ring with Joe Smith. I love to see him in there with any of the top, Joshua Buatsi. Any of those top guys at light heavyweight, which is suddenly a really fun division. Zurdo Ramirez, get him in the mix. Anthony Yarde is in the mix now with all these guys at 175. We'll love to see him fight again. Shout out to him, especially a guy that started his career late. You know, this guy he's not the same thing as Artur Beterbiev. It's not the same thing as a lot of these other champions in boxing. Anthony Yarde got a really late start. I think he was 18 when he first picked up the sport. So shout out to him. He did a great job today. It just wasn't enough. And there's nothing wrong with going and getting stopped by Beterbiev. He gave Beterbiev one of the toughest fights he's had since the Vodzik fight. So I'd love to see Anthony Yarde mix it up with some of the other top 10 guys at light heavyweight. Over to Artur Beterbiev. We know he's a slow starter. His first 2 rounds, he did start slow, and he picked things up in the third and fourth round. In those middle rounds, he started to find a home, and he started to close the range. And when he closes the range, he's nearly unstoppable. He didn't jab as much. I think when he did jab, he set up those power shots, and that's when he became successful. I think he needs to start jabbing more, especially as he's getting a little bit older, and you know some of the physical skills are eroding. Really good jab will help him, but he can cut off the ring so beautifully. You know, this is a sport in today's boxing. A lot of these guys don't cut off the ring. They should watch Artur Beterbiev fight because that sets up his knockouts. It's always the footwork first. With my partner Chris Algieri, we always tell you that footwork first, then being in position to land those shots. That is the beauty of fighters like Beterbiev. That's the beauty of fighters like Golovkin, Lomachenko. They know how to cut off the ring, and they know how to unload when they have their guy up and hurt. And there were a lot of times in this fight where Beterbiev, I was all right. This is it. Maybe the 4th round, 5th round. Yarde is gonna get out of there because he kept catching Yarde on the ropes, kept catching him in the corner, and then started teeing off for Beterbiev. Yeah, there are some signs of slippage, like we talked about. The defense getting hit with shots. The work rate is a little bit lower, but he has the great equalizer. He has the thing that you can't teach: power. The thing that makes him so scary. I think he's the scariest guy in boxing, him and Inoue. 19-0 with 19 knockouts. You can't teach power like that. Until that goes, I am not ready to write him off, and I am also not ready to say that I'm seeing any sign of a decline. Will Bivol, Dmitry Bivol, I'll get to that now. Dmitry Bivol is lurking. I think Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev at light heavyweight for all the titles is the best fight you can make in boxing today. You got the skill set of Dmitry Bivol, outstanding boxer, unbelievable defense, jab, motor, really good power as well, underrated power. And then you have Artur Beterbiev, who's just walk forward, I'll take your best shot, and I will knock you out. That right there makes for the best fight possible in all of boxing. That is the best style matchup you can have in the entire sport. Boxer versus brawler. And that's what you can get with this fight for all 4 belts on the line. You got to have it next. We got to stop waiting. We got to stop marinating. This fight has been marinating for way too long. Beterbiev is getting up there in age. You know, Bivol is no spring chicken either. I still think he's very much in his prime. But let's get that fight this year. You know, put it on regular ESPN. You know, Bob Arum has said that if this fight can end up on, if they're willing to put it on ESPN, and Bivol, from what I've seen, is obligated to the zone. I believe so. I don't know the exact paperwork there. But if you can get this fight and make it this year, it is arguably the best fight you can make in all of boxing. It's up there with anything the lightweights will do. Spence Crawford, forget about that. You know, Fury, Usyk, okay, put that in the top 3 as well. Inoue, Fulton, I agree. That's in a top 5 fight you can make in the entire sport. But this is the fight all fight fans want to see. Can Bivol avoid the power of Beterbiev? Can Beterbiev land on probably the best defensive fighter in all of boxing in Bivol? That is just what boxing's all about. Bring me that fight. Bring me Beterbiev Bivol next. I hope to see that. But I do know that Callum Smith is next up in line. You know, these guys have 3 belts. Beterbiev has 3 belts, so that means he has 3 mandatories. And Callum Smith has been waiting his turn since he's moved up to light heavyweight. I think he has 3 or 4 stoppages since he's moved up from 168 in that Canelo loss. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind watching Callum Smith versus Beterbiev, but it's just like another year that has gone by where we don't see Beterbiev Bivol. And from what it looks like, Bivol is probably going to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. Don't like that at all. Don't want to see that rematch. Don't think Canelo can beat Bivol. Especially don't want to see it at 168. Bivol is a 175-pounder. Let him fight there. Let him fight Beterbiev. But wow, what a knockout win for Artur Beterbiev. He moves on to 19-0 with 19 knockouts. Who do you think would win in a fight between Beterbiev and Bivol? Comment below. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe to the page. Dan Canobbio, I'm out.